Hello guys, welcome to the 17th episode of the Built a Web API in ASP.NET Core 3.1 and consume it using an MVC client in ASP.NET Core. I shall be uploading one video every day from Monday to Friday. For viewing the completed application in action, please watch the introduction video in part 1 with the link in the description of this video. In this episode, I'll be working through the home controller creation. In this series of tutorials, all the episodes will be in continuation and built on top of the previous ones, hence it is highly recommended to view them before viewing the current one. It is suggested to view the entire duration of the video in all these episodes. I welcome all constructive comments and shall endeavor to reply to them. Finally, an appeal to please subscribe and share this channel and click the bell notification icon to get the latest in the uploads. So in this lecture, we'll be creating the controllers and we will start with the home controller in the Web API project. Now in this lecture, we'll create the home controller and add some required NuGet packages for the controllers and configure the startup for the controllers. So let's switch over to Visual Studio now. We'll have to first create a controllers folder in the Web API project. So right click the Web API node and click on Add. New folder. Name this controllers. Right click on this controllers folder. Add controller at the top. And I will make it API controller empty because this is a Web API project, and click on Add. So instead of the values, I will make it home. So home controller.cs. Now home controller is created for me, and because this will be a simple controller that will return a string that the API is running, it will have just one action method, index action method, and I don't need the routing attributes, so I'll get rid of those attributes, and then simply I'll write public string index it returns a string that the API is running, as we have shown, as we have seen in the first lecture, introductory lecture, when both the Web API and the MVC client is started. Web API starts with a signal that I am running. Web API is running. Okay, so now I'll have to add a couple of NuGet packages. So let's right click the Web API node and manage NuGet packages. So I have got these 4 NuGet packages, 3 of them belonging to the Serilog that we have already explained, and the fourth one is system.data.client. Now I'll have to browse for a NuGet package which is known as Microsoft.ASP.NET Core.MVC.NewtonSoft.json to bring in the NewtonSoft JSON for the JSON objects. Okay, so Microsoft dot Microsoft.ASP.NET Core.MVC .NewtonSoft.json. This is the one that I have to look for. All right, let's click on here and click on install. So I think this is the right version for ASP.NET Core 3.1 and click on install. Click on accept. It should install this package. So you can see that this is successfully installed, microsoft.aspnetcore.mvc.newtonsoft.json. And another package that I have to look for is Microsoft. Let me type Microsoft.visualstudio.web.codegeneration.design. So latest table 5.0.0, it is, I believe, for the .NET or ASP.NET 5, which is the latest version, which was released a few days back, this month only. So I'll take this is the latest version compatible with ASP.NET Core 3.1. So let's click on install. And then this license acceptance screen comes and I accept. So it is installing the NuGet package. So it's all finished. Okay. So now it should come within this installed packages. So this one is installed already. Microsoft.visualstudio.web.codegeneration.design. Now I have come again to the configure services method of the startup class, and here now that we have the controller in place and we have also added the Newtonsoft JSON package, so I'll have to add it over here. Services instance.add controllers with views, add controllers with views dot add Newtonsoft JSON. Okay, that's it over here. And in the web API, if you just click on add controllers, that should also do. But I have seen that people are adding to the service add controllers with views even for the web API project. So I'm just going with that. Okay, with the trend. Now in this configure method, so far this was just writing asynchronously to the response stream hello world, if you have seen it earlier. So here I'll have now changed to map it to the default home controller. So I'll still keep this as the same app object iApplication builder. Endpoint goes to endpoints dot, instead of map get, it will be map controller route. Map controller route. All right, and I'll just change whatever was inside, and then this bracket goes, curly brace goes, this curly brace also goes, and map controller route, and within that, just hang on with me for a bit, everything will be all right. So endpoints.map controller route, and then a name property here will be default. So default controller, and the pattern is, there's a pattern, the URL pattern of the route. Okay, it's automatically suggesting pattern, then colon, then get rid of this is okay. Yeah, pattern is within double quotes, within a pair of curly braces. This will be evaluated. Actually, pair of curly braces usually mean that this is not a string, but this is something to be evaluated by the application. So controller equals home, and then front slash home controller, and this is the action method. So action equals index, and after the closing curly brace there will be another pair of curly brace within which there is a optional ID. Okay, so this is all right. I'll just indent it a bit to bring it on the line above. All right, so this is all okay. Now let me build the application with Ctrl+Shift+B hotkey combination, and build succeeded. So in this lecture, we have seen how to build the home controller, and we have brought in 2 NuGet packages essentially for the controllers to be working. And also we have configured the route for the default controller and the default action method. And also we have used the to the service collection, we have add controllers with views and the Newtonsoft JSON package that we have included from the NuGet. Okay. So now let us run this application to see Web API, what the response it is producing. So it is loading the browser, and what I would expect is to give us a string, which is what this control is showing. API running, let's see. So API is running. So our web application is already, web API is running. It's working all right. Everything is fine with it so far.